So, I don't like calling this a review per se because I'm not ready to go out on a limb and give full thoughts on this pistol so far. But it's like a mid-review review. It's the Sig P320 X5. And so far, I've just crossed about 4,500 rounds through the gun. And it's been a good gun. I've ran it through 3 classes now, mainly with Orion Training Group, and it's been good. It has its quirks, but overall, awesome comparative to Glocks, and not bashing Glocks, because I continue to carry a Glock as my EDC gun, as a Gen 2 Glock 19, and I still use Glocks. I still train with Glocks. No real complaints about them, but in comparison, so far I would take this over that. I have been just using the Romeo 1 optic. I know the Romeo 1 gets a bad rap, and I've definitely had problems with it. But this one, I actually, back in the winter, sub-zero temperatures in snow, it did okay. Obviously, it's not a closed emitter optic, so it kind of sucks. It gets packed with snow and disable. You can fire the gun and it'll clean it out most of the time, but I've definitely had some electronic issues out of it. The optic will randomly cut off, and it will be a little bit of a pain to get back on. Sometimes I've even had to take the battery cap out and put it back in to get it to function. I don't really know what's up with that. And today in particular, because I just finished a training session today, and I had issues getting it to come back on. It's went out twice, and I know it's not a battery issue. I don't think it is, because I recently changed the battery, I think about 2 weeks ago, and I do turn it off when I'm not using it. So it's held 0 though. I had to pull the optic off and Loctite it. They did not Loctite it from the factory. But it's been good. It's held 0. Just problems with the electronics flicking on and off. And as far as the gun goes, I don't like the fact that it's a 5-inch barrel, because finding holsters, in particular for the X5, is really hard. A&R Design is the only people I could find that made one that would work with a light, like a light compatible holster. But it's, it doesn't have level 3 retention on it, so it doesn't have active retention. I would rather have a holster with active retention, but and I'll roll some footage of the holster and the way I have it set up. I made my own little bungee system on it to hold the gun in, and it works. It's not ideal, but it works if you have to run around. And I'm just running the Surefire X300 on this one. It's just a Surefire. It works. With the Romeo 1, if you look, the Romeo 1 has a little rear notch to use with the front sight. It does work okay. The notch is so small, if you have to use it as a backup iron, it's kind of hard to see. But it works. It serves its purpose. It's definitely usable. And I've had to utilize it when I've drawn the pistol and the dot's not there. So I would say they definitely need it with the Romeo 1. I will be changing it out. I don't know if I'm going to go with an aim point acro or a delta point, but at some point in the foreseeable future, this will be swapped with a new optic. I do wish it had the option to go comped. I kind of want to get on the comp bandwagon, and I think my next pistol is going to be a Parker Mountain Machine when they release their dual port comp ones, and I'll go with it. But I plan on putting about 10K through this gun and seeing what happens with it. Like I said, I've crossed about the 4,500 round threshold. Another complaint with any gun in general for me, I have small hands. So if you have small hands, the Sig is not really ideal. The grip's kind of big. And what I do with all, like every pistol that I carry, whether it be a Makarov, a Tokarev, Glock, anything, I take hockey stick tape and I wrap it up in that. It works really well for me, especially when you don't have gloves. I can really get a grip on it and hold on to it because of my small hands. It can definitely be an issue. One thing I really like with this SIG, I don't know if all of them haven't because this is the only 320 I've really used. I've shot the M17 some, but not enough. It wasn't my own, so I couldn't give an honest opinion on that. But the mag release on them are actually really nice. This one has a big mag release, but it's not too big, you know. With my Glock, I get an extended one in my Glock. I put in an aftermarket. I don't remember the brand of it, but I put in an aftermarket, slightly extended one. It's not like one of the big goofy competition ones that you see on some of the Glocks. But even, it's about this size. It still will get pressed in my holster and release the mag. So I'm gonna have to change it back. But I went with an aluminum because I like running the extendos. And with the Glock, the factory mag release, a lot of times they don't want to hold the extended mags as well. So if you put in an aluminum one, usually they'll run really well with extendos. But you just have to be careful because they can stick out too far, press against your holster, and drop your mag. And then you'll come up on target like this, and it'll go. If you have big hands with the SIG though, you might have to be a little careful because right here, if you have a nice high grip on the gun, you can potentially hit it with your finger. So that's something to be conscious of. But it's been good. So 4,500 rounds, I've shot just about everything through it. I'm trying to get a good mix of ammo. The majority of that has been 115 grain, but I have run 115 grain, 115 grain plus P, and 124 plus P, and 147. Also subsonics. The subsonics that I tried the stealth subsonics, and they function out of it really well. And Defiance munition, they have their solid copper subsonics. They're like maximum expansion rounds, function in this gun flawlessly too. So I haven't had the opportunity to put as many of those through it as I would like because they're really expensive. But it's ate everything fine. The only malfunctions, I've had 3 malfunctions with it. The first malfunction was, I guess, about 4,000 rounds, somewhere around there. It's been recent because I've done zero maintenance to this gun. Back in the winter, I ran it in the snow. I did a little bit of torture testing with it in the snow, and it did flawless. But I haven't done anything to it. At around the 4,000 threshold with Tula, I ran into a stuck case. And if you check out my Instagram, you'll see it. I posted a picture. It was like severely stuck. I had to get a cleaning rod and hammer it out. Could you chalk that up to just being Tula ammo? Probably. But I've had no other issues with 115s other than that. I think it was just a freak round, personally. But the next malfunction I had was with 124 grain remanufactured stovepipe. And this whole, I think it was ACC or AAC ammo. I'm not entirely sure on the brand. I haven't saw it before, and that was my first time dealing with it. I needed some for a class that I ran, the last Orion training group class. I ran 124 grain remans, and I did have one stovepipe from it. And today, I actually had one stovepipe with a 147, and it was while doing strong hand firing. So that could be a limp wrist. You know, 147s aren't as power, it doesn't generate as much force, you know, operating the gun. They're slow and smooth shooting, and that could be just me limp wristing it. But overall, I'm liking it so far and looking forward to the next 5,000. We'll see how it goes, and I'll get the full review posted. So thank you for watching, and please like, subscribe, share, tell everyone you know about it.